Good morning. Myself, Dr. J. Namrata Manohar, is back with an episode on strings and arrays in C programming. Basically, let us see what a string and an array is, right? A string is nothing but a sequence of characters. So here you can see there is a sequence of characters. This sequence of characters, which forms a string, it always ends with a null character, which is given as /0, right? In C, each character is represented by char in single quotes, but string is represented by a sequence of characters, and the last character will always be a null character that is given as /0, right? So they are identified with the index value. Each character is identified with an index value. So the index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So the index will always be one more than the number of characters, because the last digit is the null character, which is automatically appended by the compiler. Now, if E is stored in the address 1001, then M will be stored in 1002. So this is the address of the sequence of characters. Now, what is an array? An array is a group of similar things. Say you want to store the roll numbers of some students. Here we have the roll numbers of 6 students, 15. The roll numbers are 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, right? So this array, we can use the concept of array to store this roll numbers. Now, if you do not have arrays, you would have to give 6 variables. That is roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3, roll number 4, roll number 5, roll number 6. And also accessing these individual elements would be difficult. Since they are of the same type, better we use only one variable, that is called roll number. We use only one variable, int roll number, but we can give the index. We can give the index to, this is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5. So by giving only one variable named roll number, but using the respective indexes, you can access that particular element. So managing these elements using a single variable by using the array concept is more easy. So whenever you are having a group of similar things, it is better you use the concept of array. So here these are the elements of the array. So if you see, there is a similarity between a string and an array. In C, string is always stored as a sequence of characters. So we use the concept of array for string operations. So let us go into the details of the string and array. Now, before we go into this, these are the few resources that would be helpful for you. Some resources are the primary resources. 8 resources are what I have already given to you all. That is importance of programming for electrical engineers, computer programming for beginners, fundamental terms of computer programming, preliminary introduction to C programming language, introduction to programming stage, second stage, then operators and decisions, looping and branching, then apply to mathematics and physics, wherein I have taken some problems in mathematics and physics and seen how they can be programmed. So it's good that you go through these episodes more than 1 or 2 times. So you get a strong foundation, especially the first 3 episodes, that is computer programming for beginners and fundamental terms. You please keep revising at least a few number of times. Now, the other resources are C programming with editors. If you go to www.w3resource.com, you will find a large number of examples, and also they have provided editors. So you can type your program, execute, and see whether what program you have written is right or no. The other resources, www.programmiz.com. Here also they have provided you editors. That is, they have provided the run facility. So you can execute the program and check the output. So you can refer to these resources. Now, this is my 8th episode on Tips to Master Computer Programming, Application of Queries. That is question numbers 36 to 39 I'll be discussing of episode 1. Now, question number 36 was, how are characters and strings represented in C language? So in C, a character is represented using a char data type and single quotation marks. So char data type is the data type. This is the variable used for my grade, which is equal to single quotes A. That is, say you are having grades A, B, C, D. Then you can say char my grade is equal to A within single quote. So as I told you, character is given within single quote, but strings are given within double quotes, right? Now, to print the character, you are using %C format specifier, %T my grade, right? So character data type can accept only one character, but to accept a group of characters that may form a word or sentence, we need to use string data type. So that is why we need strings. So string is an array of characters. The last character in the array of the string is a null represented as /0, as I told you. So always when you're declaring a string, you declare it a size one more than the required number of characters. So what is the syntax? Char, string name, and within square brackets, the number of characters is equal to the string you give in double quotes. That is, if you want to initialize at the time of declaration only. Example, char name within quotes 10 is equal to Rama. So, char name within square brackets is the Rama. So that is maximum number of characters you can give is 9 here, where n is the number of characters including null. Now, a string in C can be initialized in 4 different ways. They are assigning a string literal. Now, how you can initialize a string? Assigning a string literal without sizing. That is, you don't want to give the size at the time of declaration. So you can just give a blank bracket, right? Literals can be assigned without size. Here, the name of the string name acts as a pointer to the array. Char name is equal to Dinky, right? Assigning a string literal with a predefined size. That is, you give already a size here, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus one null character, that is 7. String literals can be assigned with a predefined size, but we should always account for one extra space which will be assigned to the null character. So if you want to store a string of size n, then we should always declare a string with a size equal to or greater than n plus 1. So char city 7 is equal to Mumbai within double quotes. This is another way of declaration. Now, the third method is assigning character by character with size. That is char list 5. Suppose you are having discrete characters, as I said, grades A, B, C, D, and you want to give them separately. Then you can also give them individually like this within flower brackets, but each character within single quote. Within single quote, you should give. The last one should always be a null character. Now, the fourth method is assigning character by character without size. Char list, there's no size here. So here you are giving each character separately again, each within single quotes, the last one being a null character enclosed within flower brackets, and default, the size of this will be taken by the compiler, right? So when a sequence of characters enclosed in the double quotation marks is encountered by the compiler, a null character /0 is appended at the end of the string by default, right? Okay. So now what is arrays? Now, why are we having to do string and arrays together? Because strings you can manipulate only if you know arrays. So that's why first we need to study what a string is. That is, what is an array? What is an array, and how we can how arrays are handled, and how you can manipulate arrays. If you know only, you can handle strings. So array is a group of similar items. That is, a group of students, fruits, vegetables, etc. So an array is declared by specifying its name, that is roll number, the data type, that is int, of its elements, and the size of its dimensions, that is 10. So int roll number 10. So these things are required. Data type, name of the array, size of the array within square brackets is required for declaration. So when we declare an array in C, the compiler allocates the memory block of the specified size to the array name. Suppose int is of 1 byte and you are giving a size of 10, automatically 10 bytes in sequence will be allotted in the memory by the compiler. So all these 10 elements will be stored one after the other in the memory. So syntax is you have two types of arrays, single dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. So for a single dimensional array, we have data type, then array name and size, which you have already seen previously. Data type, array name and size. Now, here the size is only a row or a column. Now, in multi-dimensional array, you have data type, array name, size 1, size 2, right? So, size n, you can have any number of sizes. That is, if you're having a two-dimensional array, n1 and n2, that is 5 and 2. Or you can have any number of rows. So here you have multi-dimensional array where size n is the dimension of the array from 0 to n minus 1 because counter starts default from 0. For an array, the counter or the index starts default from 0. That is the last element index is n minus 1. Now, some keynotes of arrays. Array index start from 0 and not 1. So the index of the final element will be n minus 1. Now, suppose we have an array of float mark 5, then the starting address of the mark 0 is 2120D. And the mark 1 will be 2124D, right? So, if the size is of 4 bytes. So, depending upon the number of bytes, the address will change. Similarly, the mark 2 will be 2128D. So, this is the size of the float data type, which is of 4 bytes, right? So this is how arrays are stored in memory and how they can be accessed is by just accessing the index. So if I say int roll number 4, that means I'm accessing the element number 5 of the array. Now, what are the advantages of arrays and disadvantages of arrays also? Let us see. So in an array, accessing an element is very easy and fast by using the index number. So by just using the index number, say the index number, as I said, roll number 3. If I say roll number 3, I'm accessing the 4th element of that particular array or the roll number of the 4th person. So the search process can be applied to an array easily. So you want to find a particular roll number in the array, it is very easy. Two-dimensional array is used to represent matrices. For any reason, a user wishes to store multiple values of similar type, then arrays can be used and utilized efficiently because performing operations on arrays is more easy. C provides built-in functions for manipulating arrays such as sorting and searching. Now, C also supports multiple dimensions which can be used for representing complex data structures like matrices, like say 3-dimensional array, 4-dimensional array, you can use. Arrays can be easily converted to pointers, which allow for passing arrays to functions as arguments and returning arrays from functions. Now, pointer is a variable that stores the address of another variable. So in the advanced classes, when we'll be seeing about pointers, then you'll know what are the advantages of pointers and using pointers, how it is more easy to manipulate arrays. Now, the lines of code will be less, thereby it has high speed of execution if you have using arrays. Now, what are the disadvantages? Array is static. That is, the size is always fixed. The memory which is allocated to it cannot be increased or decreased. So if I say int roll number 5, that means the size is only 5. I can't add more elements to it. Right? Now let us start the programming. Program to demonstrate operation of strings and arrays. C program to input a string and display the ASCII value of the character in the string of arrays. Right? Now here every character has an ASCII value. I hope you know the ASCII table of characters. Now hash include stdio.h main. I'm declaring a string char name 20. That is, name here is the string variable. You can enter any valid English word. That is, instead of name, roll number, or the chair, any variable name you can use here in place of name. Now, here I need a number of elements. So n and a counter I is equal to 0. So printf enter the number of characters present in the string. So first though I have declared 20, I can enter only 19 characters. And it's not compulsory that you enter all the 19 characters. You can include any number of characters up to 19, right? So I'm accepting the number of characters in the string that I want to enter. Now, enter the string of %d characters. So, now that I know the number of characters, I'm asking you to enter the string. So, enter the number of characters present in the array is 5. Enter the string of 5 characters. I'm entering India. Scanf name. Here you don't need to use ampersand for string. Now, while I is less than n, I'm using the while loop. You can also use for loop. So while I is less than n, that is the counter. Printf %c is equal to %d, name of I, and name of I. Now you might be wondering, what is this name of I? Name of I. Name of I is nothing but the variable in this. So name of 0. Name of 0 is I. Name of 1 is n. Name of 2 is d. Name of 3 is I. Name of 4 is a here. But here I have given the format specified %c. So because here I have given %c, it will print the character here. It will print the character here before equal to. And after equal to, I have used the format specifier %d. Because I've used the format specifier %d, here it will print the numerical ASCII value of that particular character, right? So that is the importance of this program, using both the character format specifier and the integer format specifier. So initially I was 0. Because I was 0, name of I is I, and its ASCII value is 73. Now I have incremented I to 1. So when I becomes 1, n you get. So the ASCII value of n is 110. Similarly, by incrementing the value of I, you're displaying all these values, I, n, d, I, a. And by using the /n, you will be printing each of these characters in a different line. If you had not used the /n, then all of them would have been printed in one line side by side. It would be very difficult for you to understand. So that's why you have to generously use this /n character. That is new line character. /n is called as a new line character. You should generously use. So your output will look very nice like this, right? Then you close your while loop. You close your main. Right, so this is the program on where you are using strings and arrays. Now, here C program. Here C program we will use to reverse a string, print a string in the reverse order. So hash include stdio.h. Here we are using the string header file. So hash include string.h, right? Main, you are declaring the string character my string of size 60. Length of the string using len, another counter variable g I'm using. So printf program in C for reversing a given string. So I'm giving the message on the monitor saying that I'm writing a program for reversing a string. Printf, please type the string you want to reverse, right? So scanf % my string, accepting the string from the user. Now, finding out the length of the string. The length of the string is equal to strlen my string. So here in this case, I have like in the previous program, I have asked how many characters it has. So that's why I've used this count variable n. But here I am not asking how many characters, but because each time you might be entering, you need not count the number of characters, and you may not be possible to count the number of characters. So to find out the number of characters in the string, you can use strlen my string. So the size of the string is stored in len variable. Printf, the string after reversing is. So before reversing, after reversing, we will print. So what do? We have to start in the reverse order. So that is why we start the counter from the upper index. So for I is equal to G is equal to length minus 1. Length minus 1 because the last index is a null character. So that's why we start with length minus 1. So G greater than equal to 0. G minus minus decrementing because we are starting from the upper character. We are decrementing the counter and then we are going to print my string G. So what is it? I'm printing the character %3 my string G. Here we are not going to use /n because I want to print it in one line only. Sequence of characters to be printed in one line. So I'm not using /n here. So now you are going to close your main function and you're going to close your for loop and main function. Now let us see the output. The output is program in C for reversing a given string. Please type the string you want to enter. This is a message we had displayed in the printf. So I am entering the string MADAM, small m, capital A, capital D, small a, capital M. So the string after reversing is capital M, A, D, A, M. So in the reverse order. So you can see this printed in the reverse order. So a string like this, if you read the string in the forward and reverse direction, it is the same, madam. So strings which are read the same in the forward and reverse direction are called palindromes. Sorry, this is spelling mistake here. This is a palindrome. Okay, it's called a palindrome. Palindrome. Small correction here. Palindrome. Palindrome. Right? So this is a palindrome. You will also get many questions relating to C programming in your interviews. Like how many, find out the number of characters in a string, identify how many times a particular character has occurred in a string. So these are some questions you will be asked in your competitive exams. Programming is an art. Now, why programming is an art? This I want to explain. There are various methods of reversing a string in C. In C, there are various methods of reversing a string, or rather, to write any program, there are various alternative logics. What are the logics for, in this particular case, I'm saying? You can reverse a string uses strrev function. You can use without using the library function. You can use by recursion function. You can use by using for loop. You can use by using while loop. You can use by pointers. So there are so many methods of writing the same program by different methods. So which program you choose or which logic you're going to choose will identify your skills of programming. Now, how you choose the logic, how the logic should be. It should be of high quality code. The logic should help you to write high quality code and should meet all the following parameters. What are they? The code should be functional. The code should be consistent. Every time you run, it should give the right answer. Easy to understand. The code should be easy to understand. It must meet the customer's requirement. That is customer satisfaction. What is customer satisfaction? Customer satisfaction is meeting his requirement. This you will be you're studying in your software engineering subject, or rather for any product you are manufacturing, whether it is hardware product, whether it is a TV, fridge, table, chair, customer satisfaction is more important, because if the customer is not satisfied, there is no point in you developing that product. So that is why customer satisfaction is the primary most quality parameter. Then it must be testable. You should be able to test that program. It should be reusable, extendable, free of bugs and errors. It should be secure and well documented. So the alternative logic that you are selecting to write a particular program, right, whether it is small or a big piece of code, it should meet all these functional requirements. Now, we'll take another program. Write a program to accept a decimal number and convert to binary. This is one important program. So how do we convert it to binary? First of all, you should know the process of converting decimal to binary. What do we do? You're going to take a particular number, and whenever you divide the number by 2, the remainder you get each time after you get, the last digit, writing in the reverse order, will give you the binary number. I hope you are aware with the conversion process. So first of all, you know the logic. Now, main int, I'm having an array of size 10, number I, j. So please enter a decimal number you want to convert. So I'm accepting the number ampersand number. For I is equal to 0, number greater than 0, I plus plus. So unless you know the logic, you can't write this line. So first, understanding your logic is very important to write this particular line of for loop. So A of I is equal to num mod 2, the remainder. That is A of I. I is initially 0, right? I is initially 0 here. A of I, what is A of I? A of I is a remainder. So 5 divided by 2 is 1. 5 divided by 2 is 1. And when I divide 5 by 2, what is quotient I will be getting? 2. Remainder is 1, quotient is 2, right? So number is equal to num by 2. So number is equal to num by 2. I'm getting 2. Now, after this, what I will be doing, here I am closing the for loop. Now, what will happen? I is incrementing to 1. When I is incrementing to 1, here what I am doing, 2 by 2. 2 by 2 is 0. So the remainder is 0. 2 by 2 is 1. I increment to 2. So again 1 by 2. 1 by 2, remainder is 1. But 1 by 2, the quotient is 0. So when I is incremented to 3, A of I is 0, but the number is also 0. Since number is also 0, that is number is not greater than 0. Until the number is greater than 0, see, it stops. Now, until the number is greater than 0. It is not greater than 0, so it stops here. So the for loop stops here. Now we have to print the binary number. These numbers, these remainders have to be printed in the reverse order. So what do we do? For j is equal to I minus 1. That is, the counter has become 3. But I want to print from this 1. So 3 minus 1 I must do. So I minus 1, j greater than or equal to 0, j minus minus, printf percentage d ampersand j. So here first it will print 2. What is this? 1. It will print 1. This 1. Then it will print 0. Then it will print 1. So the output will be 1, 0, 1. The other zeros it can always be appended. So this is the binary number of 5. Right? So understanding the logic of conversion is very important. Now we'll take another important program. In arrays, there will be several programs, but in the time constraint, we will be discussing only a few important programs. So here we are going to cite the largest element present in a given array we will be seeing. Now, first of all, as I told you, there are various logics available. First of all, you should write down your own logic. You write the algorithm for your logic. After you've written the algorithm for your logic, then you can start writing the code. So let us see what we have done here. Int size I largest. Printf, enter the size of the array. Scanf percentage d ampersand size. So here first I'm accepting the size of the array, right? After accepting the size of the array, then I'm declaring the array of that particular size. Int array size, declaring the array. Now I'm going to accept the elements of the array. So default, you'll be using the for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. Then scanf percentage d ampersand array of I. So this is the loop that we're using to accept the elements. So the elements I've accepted is 1, 9, 4, 3, and 16. Now I want to find out which of them is the largest, right? So here first initializing largest to array 0. That is, I'm assuming that this 1 is the largest. I'm assuming that 1 is the largest. Now what I will do, I'm using a variable called largest, which is equal to 1. Now 1 I will compare with 9. 9 is bigger than 1. So I will make the largest to 9, right? I'll shift the counter to 9. Now I'll compare 9 to 4. Now since 4 is less, I'll keep largest as 9 only. Then I'll compare with 3. 3 is also less than 9, so largest is still 9. Now, when you compare 9 with 16, 16 is greater, so largest becomes 16. So, what is the loop here? For I is equal to 1, I less than size, I plus plus. If largest is less than array of I, largest is equal to array of I. So, finally, the largest element given in the given array is percentage D, largest. So, you close your for loop and you close your main function. Right? Now, another program is we'll do for matrices, adding two matrices, main, int, rows, number of rows, number of columns. Here the matrices, this is a multi-dimensional array or two-dimensional array. We have taken the number of rows as 100, number of columns as 100, right? Another matrix 2, B, rows 100, columns 100, and sum. I'm taking the sum matrix as sum with counters I and j. Now, here why I'm taking 100 is, now I do not know each time how many elements of matrix will be. It may be of 5 by 5, 10 by 10, 15 by 15. So I need not bother up to 100. So printf, enter the number of rows between 1 and 100. So how many rows you have? First you are accepting. Then accept how many columns you have. After you have accepted the number of rows and columns, then we are going to accept the matrices A and B. So for I is equal to 0, I less than R, I plus plus. For j is equal to 0, j less than column, j plus j. Right? This is for the row. This is for the column. You see there's no semicolon here. Space constraint in this page. I'm not put them in one line. There's no semicolon here. They continuity. So open the for loop, printf, enter a percentage d, that is I plus 1, j plus 1. That is a 0, 0, a 1, 1, a 1, a 2, 2, like that you are accepting. So scanf percentage d ampersand a of I, j. So initially I is 0, j is 0. So I is 0, j is 0. So you will be accepting 0 and 0. Then you will, first j completes. First j loop completes. So first j becomes 1. So 0, 1. You will 0, 1 element you will be accepting. So j becomes 1. 0, 1 elements you will be accepting. That is, first I is 0, j is 0. So you will be accepting C, this element 3. Then I is 0, j becomes 1. So then 0, 1. So you will be accepting the first element and second element 6. Right? Then you will be accepting, after that you will be accepting the then what is happening? The number of rows and columns are only 2. I becomes 1. J becomes 0. So 1, 0, you'll accept 6. Then you'll accept 5. So how elements are accepted is, first row you'll accept first. Then second row you'll accept first. Now how they are added, let us see. So this is the for loop for the second matrix. For I is equal to 0, I less than R plus plus I. And j is equal to 0, j less than C plus plus j. Enter the elements. After accepting the two matrices element, we are going to add the two matrices. So again, you need two for loops. One is for the row and one is for the column. And you are opening the for loop, and sum ij is equal to aij plus bij. So sum of the true matrices you are going to print. So again, you'll need this two for loops, I counter, j counter, and then you'll print the sum of the two matrices. So this is how the elements of the first matrix have accepted is 1, 3, 1, 2. Then elements of the second matrix have accepted 2, 4, 5, 2. So what is the sum? 1 plus 2, 3. Here I've got 3 plus 4 is 7. Here I got 1 plus 5 is 6. I've got here 3 plus 2 is 5. I've got here. This is the resultant sum matrix. So in this way, you can write your various programs for finding the inverse of a matrix, multiplication of matrix, transpose of a matrix, discriminant of a matrix, determinant of a matrix, you can find out. Right? There are various programs on matrices which are very important. You can practice them. Now, the 38th question was, what are the input statements? The input statements already we have been using, but I'm just revisiting because this question is there. One is scanf function, which we are already using, format specify variable 1, variable 2. Then getChar. This is the input-output statement which reads a single character from the standard input. Char, variable name is equal to getChar. GetCH reads a single character directly from the keyboard without displaying it on the screen. So char variable name is equal to getChar. GetChe, it reads a single character from the keyboard and displays it to the current text window. So these are the various types of input statements. Already scanf we have seen and getChar. The other two we'll be seeing in our subsequent programs. Similarly, output statements already we are using, that is printf statement. So that is message format specify variable name. We are already using this stdio.h. So here this is a simple program for demonstrating the input-output functions. So if they ask you the question, write a simple program to for the use of input-output functions, you can write this program stdio.h main int a b float average. Printf enter two integer numbers. You are accepting the two variables a and b. Average is a plus b by 2. So printf average of %d and %d is %f a b average. So if you are entering 2 and 5, 7. Average of 7 by 2 is 3.30. You will be 7 by 2. How much you are getting? 7 by 2, 3.2. 10 divided by 3, 3.333 you will be getting. So here are some review questions I have given. An array index starts at, question, assuming int is of 4 bytes, what is the size of int array 15? What is the output of this program? I've given the small piece of code here. You have to find out what is the output. What happens when you try to access an array variable outside its size? What type of return type is used in string operations? What is the output of the following C code? I've given you a small piece of code here. So you have to analyze the logic and find out what is the output here. What is the maximum number of elements that can be stored in an array in C? Right? Can we have an array of void data type? Right? So these are some review questions I've given you. So answers also I have given you. First, you analyze and check whether your answers are right or wrong. In this way, if you go to these various websites, Naukri.com, Sand Foundry and all, you will be getting more interview questions, review questions. You can attempt and firm up your concepts. Thank you. If you have any project documentation or you want quantitative aptitude coaching for CA entrance or any subject in computer science and electrical engineering guidance you want, mathematics and statistics, operation research, you may please contact on 9948699507. And please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.